Hi everybody! So we're going on to our second stage of our painting and we're going to be blocking in the shaded areas and starting to pull it out a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit on the water at the bottom because I've missed a part there. So I'm going to take my ultramarine, bit of burnt umber because it's quite dark. I'm just going to pop that in. And we've got our shaded areas around there, so I could put that in as well. If your brush starts to go a bit dry like that, all it means is you need a little bit more water on your brush. Okay, so this is the second stage. I just put a little bit more down here, a bit thicker. Still working in water-based oils. Okay, so I'm using slightly smaller brushes and I'm going to start to pull out some of the really dark colours and the very light colours. So if we start off with the dark, remember to add dark to light. So with my yellow, I'm going to take some yellow and then I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it. If I want it darker, I can add more blue in. And I can get some really nice dark colours there. If I wanted it even darker, what you could do is add a little bit of the burnt umber and pop that in as well. Okay, so let's crack on. So I'm using a dabbing motion because we're doing it in the style of the Impressionists. And add a little bit more green in there as well. So still keeping it quite nice and loose. And I'm going to bring out the tree trunk as well today. So again, like we did last time, try squinting just to see the different tones that are there. Okay, we're quite dark over here. There's another little bit of mist up there, so I can paint over that, which is the beauty of water-based oils and acrylics. So can you see we're really concentrating on that shadowed area. We've got some really dark bits down here as well. So still using the same brush that I used before. Okay, so it's not so dark over this side. So what you could do is mix up another colour or less paint on the brush. So you could use the same colours that I've used there. If you can see, there's not that much colour on my brush, so that's automatically going to make it a bit lighter. Just carry on building that up. So any areas that you can see that are slightly darker, pop those in now. So what I did with the water as well, to get the depth, if you paint across and then paint down, and then next time we meet, we're just going to do a few little ripples over the top, and that will give you the different layers to create a depth. Okay, I've got some bluey colours, so I'm just going to add some white in with the blue, just to get some shade around there. So that's the other thing about the Impressionists. They use lots of blues and purples for the shading. So don't be scared to play around with the colours. The other thing you can do as well is a technique called sgraffito. So you can, if you wanted to, so if I just drag that up there, you can start to see where I've got a little bit of a trunk which I can pop in. So I'm going to use my yellow again, a bit of white in there. So keep mixing your colours until you're happy with the colour you've got. So if I start to put that in, we can see where the tree trunk is. Remember to weave the tree trunk in and out of the foliage. It's not one straight line. Okay. Right, so we've got our really dark colours. So now we're just going to go in and add our mid green again. So I've got the yellow and I'm just adding a bits of green. And again, use your test piece of paper just to test it out if you're unsure. I'm just going to, while this is still wet, I can blend into it as well. So try not to cover any buildings up that you might have. So this is almost like working in a negative, so you're bringing forward the light areas by adding the shadows. So I'm just going to blend that. Can you see? So it's not such a dark clump of colour. Remember, your brush starts to get dry, just add a little bit more water to it. And remember, whatever photograph you're using, you don't have to copy it exact. So there's the base of my tree. While you're out and about, have a look at trees. You won't find generally a straight tree trunk. They can be curved and you'll have foliage coming in and out. Okay, so add a bit more water to that paint. I like to take my painting just off the side of the canvas. So I'm going to blend that little bit of blue in as well with the green. It's very good for your muscles doing this, working on an easel. You start to feel all your muscles aching. Okay, so while I've got that green, what I can do is start to bring some of that down into the water, because that's reflected in the water there. Okay, so then I'm going to go back into my lighter green again. So remember, blue and yellow make green. So I'm going to take my yellow, add a little bit of the blue, dark into light. If I want it a bit more of a yellowy green, I can add more yellow. I'm just going to start to build this up. So some of these plants are going horizontally, so across the painting, and some are going up. So it's always interesting to have the combination. Right, so if I wanted to add a little bit more yellow to that, so you can add it straight onto the canvas because it's still wet, or you could mix up another lighter green. So starting to give a little bit more definition of leaves as well. The other trick you can do to create a recession is to add some more white in with the colour, and that just throws it back a little bit more, so you get some perspective. So out of just one combination of a green colour using blue and yellow, you can get quite a number of greens. You can add brown in, a little bit more blue. I'm just going to add some light around there. Okay, so carry on building it up. Squint in your eyes to see where the light and the shade is. So remember, it's an impressionist painting rather than a detailed painting. Have those coming down towards the bridge. Right, so colours, green colours in the foreground, we can add a little bit more yellow to those, which I'll do in a sec. Just add a little bit more light around here. Okay, so for the green in the foreground, more yellow in with the green. It's going to make it a lot more warmer. So colours in the foreground are always warmer. Just change brushes here. I've got some nice big leaves over this side. Okay, so I've got some yellow ochre for the warmer colours. It's like a sandy colour. So I've got some grasses there. I can pop those on. And take some of the colours as well into the background that you use in the foreground, just little bits here and there. It'll pull the picture together. Okay. So there we have it, and next time we'll be adding more detail.